All right, Scottie Scheffler, 1 over 71. Can you just talk us through the round out there, how difficult it was playing?
How do I feel about my round? I felt like I battled really hard. It was challenging out there. I was not getting the ball in the correct spots, and paying the price for it. So, I felt like me getting away with 1 over today wasn't all that bad. It could have been a lot, worse.
Did you see this coming from the range onto the course? Were you just not striking well off the tee, leading to the battle?
No, I anticipated to hit it better.
I figured you would. I mean, what kept you from sorting it out over the course of the round? Was that frustrating?
Yeah, anytime you're not hitting the way, or playing up to my expectations, I think it's very frustrating. I think mentally this was tough as I battled for the whole day. There's a lot of stuff going on out there that was not going in my favor necessarily, and I felt like Teddy and I did a good job of battling, and especially coming down the stretch. I felt like got some momentum back with a birdie on 2, quickly lost it with a bogey on 3, but then bounced back, birdied 4, great up and down on 5, great up and down on 6, birdie 7, good par on 8. I made the mistake there on 9, but that's just what happens when you don't hit the fairway. But overall, definitely not out of the tournament. Today was, I think, with the way I was hitting it, was easily a day I could have been going home, and battled pretty hard to stay in there. And I'm 4 over. We'll see what the lead is after today, but around this golf course, I don't think by any means I'm out of the tournament.
Another question on the left.
Hey Scotty, you found yourself in the pews a lot, and you were it was obviously very frustrating. How do you deal with that mentally, and how do you deal with the unique challenge of the bunkers here at Oakmont?
Well, when you get the ball out of position here, you just got to try to get the ball back in play. That's really all there is to it. You can get lucky sometimes and get a lie and maybe be able to get something to the green, but that wasn't really happening for me today. And I decided to just keep hitting it in the rough for some reason. But outside of that, I bounced back really well to a lot of the mistakes that I made, and kept myself, like I said, I'm not in the position I'd want to be after 2 days, but by no means am I out of the tournament.
Thank you, Scotty.
Scotty, just wondering on 9 there, it looked like you pulled the hybrid or something out of the rough there initially. What was how did the lie look? And
I grabbed my 7 wood to see what I could do. The 7 wood's a pretty amazing club out of the rough, and there was just a little too much grass behind the ball. I felt like with the grass in front of the ball, I could get it out, but I didn't know for sure if I could cover that bunker. If that bunker wasn't there, I would have for sure hit 5 wood. But really, it's just one of those deals where when you get out of position, I'm fighting hard at the end of the round. In my head, I'm like, I can get this to the green, I can get this to the green. And the more we stood there, I was like, I probably shouldn't try and do this. Something bad could happen. So I did a good job of kind of staying patient, hitting a wedge out, and give myself a look for par.
Is that kind of the test that Oakmont gives you, where you're trying to fight it, and to the last hole, maybe that could have been a decision that could go badly if you decide, hey, I'm just trying to get it in the house?
Well, I think that would maybe be an area where you could try to force something, and being 3 over par for the tournament, and the lead's a few under par. That could be an area where you may try to force something, but I think forcing it around this place is probably not a good recipe to play too much good golf. It's got to be in the fairway, got to be hitting greens, and hopefully I'll be able to do that on the weekend.
Back to the left, Adam.
What makes Sam Burns such a good putter?
Such a putter?
Yeah.
He plays golf, I think, very freely, and he's got really good natural instincts when it comes to his putting, and a lot of it is just very reactionary. He's got good fundamentals, good instinct, and he putts very reactionary. That's really all there is to it. It's as simple as that.
Can you give us a sense of how badly he'd like to win a major?
It's a complicated question. I think Sam's one of those guys. He's like me in a sense of he's a hyper-competitive person, and I think you always dream of having a chance to win these tournaments, and he's put himself in position a few times at majors, and he's in position again. I'm sure going to the weekend, he's right where I would want to be on the leaderboard, and so going to have a good chance, and it should be a fun experience for him.
A couple more, Doug. Right?
When you've talked about battling when you don't have your best stuff. What exactly does that mean to you? Is it decision making? Is it not giving up on a shot? What does a battle mean to you?
I think it's just giving it your best on each shot. There was some times today where you feel like you could give up just based on how difficult the golf course is, how my swing was feeling, and like I get in position there on 17 and I make a mess of the hole and feel like I was making birdie, walk off with bogey, and then I hit it in a bunker on the next hole, and it's like, you know, it's going to be struggling for par. You know, start off the round, I make a great putt on 10, barely pulled on 11. You know, there's a lot of places that ball could end up. Thought it could end up in the fairway, and it ends up in a place where I don't have a swing. And so it's like, am I going to get mad about it, get frustrated, or am I just going to chip it out and see what I can do from there? And I felt like that's what a lot of today was about. And you know, hopefully be able to put together some good rounds over the weekend and see where I stand. You know, going out early tomorrow, maybe get some easier conditions than the guys late in the afternoon. And you know, at the U.S. Open, I don't think you're ever out of the tournament. So put together two decent days. You know, I may be in 25th or 30th place, like something like that after today. And you know, like I said, by no means is that out of the tournament.
And I know it's hard out there, but why is it taking so long?
Why do you think?
I don't know. Is it? I mean, just,
I don't know.
Seems like it's long to me. I don't.
It felt long to me. I mean, both the par fives, we basically walked up on the group in front of us. With the win us up on number 8, you got a drivable par 4 on 17. 8's basically a drivable par 4 too. Just you guys are the ones watching. I'm just trying to play. I got too many concerns other than the pace it takes to get around.
Is that
this
one of
place.
them? Is it skin it all?
No,
Calm yourself down.
I think you like this with this many